Hey you, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel, and today is the 5th day of my October drawing challenge, otherwise called ARTOBER. If you want to watch the previous videos, I've linked them down below and there will be a playlist. The way this works is that I have 4 different prompt lists from which I want to work, and I randomize them each day, these being Witchtober, Drawtober, Swordtober, and my own, and then I randomize which day's prompt I'm going to do. Then I have put forth the extra challenge to create a work with a limited palette via this set of palettes. I flip a coin, heads or tails, heads being set A, tails being set B, and then I randomize which number palette that I'm going to use as a guideline. Today I got Swordtober, which I was initially excited for, but well, you'll see what happens. So I randomized the day and got day 20, which is the prompt many or multiple. If I'm being honest though, this is my least favorite of all the Swordtober prompts. To me, it was both too straightforward and too vague. Do you know what I mean? Like, too straightforward in that I knew I had to do more than one sword, unless I did like one sword hilt with a bunch of blades on it. But if I'm being honest, that sounds dumb, and it wasn't something I wanted to draw. I also thought about doing like maybe one really nice sword, but then doing the glitch effect where you line one side red and the other side blue and do like random lines to make it look like it's glitching. But I didn't think it really fit the prompt, and honestly, I'm stubborn, so I had to figure out in what situation I was going to draw multiple swords. Oh yeah, I then flipped a coin and got heads for set A, and the random number I got was 6. So this palette is nice and orange and fiery, and I love it a lot. I love oranges, they're my favorite color. And this time around, I picked up my Tau Tree, I think that's what they're called, fine liners that I got off Amazon for like $8. I got them to use for my new bullet journal, but since I haven't started working on that yet, I thought I'd give them, a trial run. And they're actually like really nice pens. I had a lot of fun writing with them, and I was super hopeful that they could be great for illustration too. Oh boy, was I wrong. I didn't like using them for inking or drawing, and I don't know what it was. I mean, it was probably like user error here, let's be real. But they were grabbing and bleeding and doing all the things that kind of irk me about liners sometimes. The colors would overrun each other and look muddy or look more like very bad doodles more than anything. Which, I mean, I'd be fine with like doodles today, honestly, but these doodles were just, I wasn't a big fan of them. I started with like a shield with 3 swords on it as sort of like a crest, but then I had the idea to sketch out a shop like out of a D&D campaign. In fact, I used a character out of my friend's campaign that I'm playing in right now. Her name is Talasul, and she's like our go-to magic shop owner that sells a bunch of cool stuff, like swords and magic and stuff. Make sense? Good. I even went through the monotony of doodling out the wood grain of her shop counter, which actually, I liked that. I liked doing that. That was fun. The swords were, also alright. I liked designing them, but these pens were just not doing my idea justice, and using them as drawing tools was not fun. I knew for a fact that I didn't want to use these liners in order to draw a person, so the sketch I started for a person ended up getting erased and not used at all, which is fine because I don't want to know how I would have felt if I had seen a person inked with those liners. I at least tried to make it interesting with the 2 signs, one on the door reading Talasul only, and the other saying, "Be back soon, shop is being guarded by a dancing greatsword," which is an item in D&D that you can like command to fight on its own with you. Thus, like, the dancing aspect. I don't know. It's cool, it's magical, it's something she would have in her shop, and that's what I went with. Unfortunately, I wasn't liking where this was going, so I tried to work on the crest thing again, but even that was giving me a headache trying to make it look presentable, though I did try really hard. In the end, I decided to make the whole thing digital. Now, the thing about Sai, it doesn't have any fancy like mirror tools so that I don't have to meticulously copy and flip every line that I want so it can come out symmetrical. So a good chunk of the recording is me checking and rechecking to ensure that everything was even and perfect and correct. But the fun part about it was painting the metal. With the water brush tool that I've made, it makes metal look really good. I don't know how that works, it just does. I liked it. Painting metal is fun and easy because you just sort of splotch down colors in a vaguely stripey fashion and then blur them all together to get like a brushed metal sort of look. I also have a specific metal brush, but I didn't really want to add too much texture to this piece because I wasn't aiming to make it look professional or polished. Because if I'm being honest, it was so that I could say I finished this day's prompt and it was done. That being said though, I am proud of the way the digital piece turned out at least. Although I realize now that the color scheme isn't from the palette I was meant to use, but oh well. It worked, it looks nice, I'll leave it at that. So much for the Swordtober prompt. Hopefully when it comes back up again, I'll get a better prompt and have an easier time coming up with something that I'll really love. That's it for day 5 of my ARTOBER challenge. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you all again for a better piece tomorrow. Bye bye!